I welcome, like others, the establishment of the Commission of Investigation into Historical Sexual Abuse in all day and boarding schools. I do in all sincerity regret, however, that it has taken so long to move into this area and ensure that all survivors, those still alive, receive acknowledgement and hopefully some justice. And again, my own personal sympathies I'd like to express to the survivors and all the families involved. The Scopie inquiry was told, as others have mentioned, of 2,395 allegations of historical sexual abuse in day and boarding schools run by religious orders, involving 884 alleged abusers in 308 schools across all parts of the country between 1927 and 2013. The historical context has been told time and time again, but we're very slow learners, if you pardon the pun, in terms of dealing with it. During my first term as a TD, we had a lot of debates about the Residential Institutions Redress Act 2002, which got to its committee and report stage in 2005. Now, I know it was passed specifically to deal with the residents of institutions, not those attending day schools. But in 2005, I tabled an amendment to the legislation to include, and I quote, former pupils of day schools who were the victims of abuse. This was not allowed, it wasn't followed up on, and here we are 20 years later. That's a shocking and embarrassing and a sad indictment on successive governments for letting it run on for so long. We know throughout the historical period of this state that the state itself, its agencies and many ordinary people, judges, Gardaí, those involved in social work, facilitated decades of abuse in our society, largely, but of course not exclusively, perpetrated by religious orders. So why, Minister, and I know you weren't there back in the day, it was Minister Hanafin, but why has it taken so long to get to this stage? We're going to face more harrowing debates about the torture and abuse in day and boarding schools. And even though there were efforts to minimise the extent of the abuse and real efforts by religious institutions to reduce their responsibility, we've done nothing to act on that. I described back in the day the 12.7 million indemnity agreement with the religious orders as shameful. It was a bargain from their perspective, but it was a slap in the face for survivors. So we still haven't seen the framework of what's going to happen here in terms of compensation and just redress, but we do need to proceed as quickly as possible now that the Scopie inquiry has been completed. So all I'm asking for, Minister, is that all schools are included, all stories are told, full transparency, full compensation, nothing less will suffice.
Dáil.